Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Anchorage Museum virtual workshop. But before we begin, I would like to take a moment to acknowledge and recognize the Eklutna people who have been living on and taking care of this land, where the Anchorage Museum is situated on for thousands of years. We would like to honor the ingenuity and knowledge of the Eklutna people and all Indigenous peoples for their past and present stewardship of the lands, plants, animals, and waters across Alaska. Thank you, guys. So just to give you a quick overview of what's going to happen in the next 45 minutes to an hour is we're going to do a quick warm-up, an introduction to what the Anchorage Museum is, a little bit about our museum pedagogy. I'll show a quick video and then how to use our website and some upcoming opportunities that I think would be really great for you and your students at home. But before we do that, I want to make sure that everybody has a pencil and a piece of paper. So I'll give you about 30 seconds if no one has a pencil and a piece of paper next to them, and I want you to grab one. And once you have a pencil and a piece of paper or whatever to write with, I want you to write down, what is a museum? And what does a museum mean to you? And I'll give you guys about 1 to 2 minutes to kind of draft. If you prefer to sketch, you're more than welcome to sketch what a museum is and what it means to you, or you can write, whichever you prefer. And in case anyone's just now joining, what we're doing now is we're sketching or writing what a museum is and what a museum means to you. And we have about maybe 45 seconds left for this prompt, and there's no right or wrong answer. About 20 more seconds. Does anybody want to share maybe what a museum is or what a museum means to them? That's okay. So the reason I like to ask this is because I truly believe a museum means something a little bit different to each and every person. But what's important to note is the Anchorage Museum is a museum of science, art, history, and culture. And within our museum, we have many different spaces. And I'm just going to quickly highlight some of those spaces within our museum. So we have a Discovery Center, and within the Discovery Center, this is a really hands-on area that includes over 800 or 80 different exhibitions and things students can use that's very hand-on engaging, that talk about Earth, life, and physical science in a fun way for all ages. Visitors can, climb inside a giant bubble, view marine animals, including sea stars, experience earthquakes and making a volcano erupt. So it's a really wonderful, hands-on, engaging space within our museum. We also have an Art of the North gallery, and this space has approximately 200 pieces, including paintings, sculptures, photography, video, and other media throughout. And it's a really wonderful area that kind of highlights this northern landscape and wilderness through this historical and contemporary depictions of both land and people. So it's a really great, one of our new exhibitions here. And then we also have an Alaska exhibition. And the Alaska exhibition tells the story of Alaska through multiple voices and perspectives, reflecting ingenuity, technology, ways of knowing, and the intimate understanding of the landscape that have allowed people to survive and thrive across the North. Within this exhibition, it is broken up into 13 themes that are essential aspects of life in Alaska, both today and throughout the state's rich history. And these themes reveal the identity of Alaska and its people by showcasing more than 400 objects. And we truly believe at the Anchorage Museum that these objects are really great entry points into telling stories and histories. And this is just some more within the space. And lastly, we have our Smithsonian Arctic Studies Center. And this is a really wonderful space that highlights the different Alaska Native cultures and their innovative technologies across the state. And you can see here, they're broken up into about 10 thematic cases as well. And you can see all the different objects within this space. At the Anchorage Museum, our big mission is to connect people, expand perspectives, and encourage global dialogue about the North and its distinct environment. And this is something that's really present and talked about within all our spaces and most of our resources that are available online for you guys. I don't know if anybody's ever been to the museum before, but we are open right now in limited capacity to the public. The Art of the North, the Alaska exhibition, the Smithsonian Arctic Studies Center, and our new Extra Tough exhibition is open to the public, like I said, in a limited capacity. The Discovery Center right now is closed to the public, but it may open again here sometime in the future. But as of right now, just those spaces are available to the public. But we also have the opportunity to view these spaces virtually, and I'll talk about that a little bit more. But before I do that and kind of talk about our resources and what our resources offer, it's important that we understand why the Anchorage Museum offers these resources and a little bit about our pedagogy. So we believe in access to our objects, and so that's why we've created a lot of curriculum that is available online that I'll show you how to get to later for you. And it really highlights our pedagogy. And our pedagogy is really founded in this visual thinking strategy, which is an approach that teaches from materials such as paintings, drawings, and photographs. And visual literacy is the ability to find meaning in imagery. It involves a set of skills ranging from simple identification, naming what one can see, to complex inner interpretation on contextual, metaphoric, or physiological levels. Many aspects within this teaching is we really look at the pieces and we draw and ask the students what they're seeing. We truly believe in this open-ended dialogue with the students that's object-driven, student-led, and heavily question-based. We don't think we have the power or hold all the power when we talk and we present. So we want to share, and we encourage the students to share their thoughts, their ideas, and their observations. And we do this by really asking 3 questions. And those 3 questions are, what's going on in this picture? What do you see that makes you say that? And what more can you find? And we really believe that these questions, when we facilitate, open up the doors to different ways of knowing and understanding and sharing and having this open dialogue with our audience. And that's what a lot of our teaching resources available online, they use these questions in order to highlight our objects within our collection. And so the Anchorage Museum uses this expanded inquiry-based approach based in this VTS strategies, but we do something more where it's VTS plus. And the reason we do VTS plus is we do believe that there's importance in providing contents when we talk about an object. So we'll ask questions such as like, what's going on in this image? Or what do you see? Perhaps we'll ask, what are the first things that you notice? Or what colors are you observing? And then as the student reveals their observations, we'll add layers of context throughout the conversation, revealing more and more about the object and expanding on those open-ended questions. We tend to ask students too throughout this journey, if their perspectives has changed once we learned more of the contents regarding the object that we're looking at. And we truly, truly encourage when students are sketching or writing down their thoughts and their ideas in a way to kind of help, inspire maybe what they're looking at or really, truly thinking. And this helps expand critical thinking skills, observation skills, verbalizing what they're noticing and what they're close looking at. And to kind of highlight this, we do offer a virtual field trip that's on our website that's pre-recorded. And I'm going to show you just a little bit of what that looks like in this next clip. So this is about a 10-minute long video, and it kind of shows you a little bit about that BTS Plus that I was talking about and how we use these open-ended questions with students. And again, this is a pre-recorded video that lives on our website. And I'll talk more about that once we get to our website as well and where you can find it.
Hi, my name is Melissa, and I'm an educator at the Anchorage Museum. Today, we are going to look at one work of art together in this interactive video. I'm going to ask questions to help you look closely and understand this artwork. I will ask you to pause the video so you have time to discuss your answers with others or write your answers down. You should have a pencil and paper in front of you. When I ask you to pause the video, you will see this symbol, along with the questions appear on the screen. Let's get started. We are going to start by doing a short warm-up activity. I'd like you to quickly write or sketch something you love. For example, I love my family, so I'm going to draw the people in my family.
And you guys are more than welcome to participate in this. I encourage it throughout the video.
You can pause the video if you need more time. Press play when you are ready to continue. The artwork we are going to look at today is made of 4 elements that, when viewed together, form the entire artwork. We are going to look closely at each of the individual pieces and then view the entire artwork as it is displayed in the Anchorage Museum. We will start with this artwork. Look carefully from these different angles. Let's answer these 3 questions together. What do you see? What do you see that makes you say that? And what more can you find? For example, I see a bear. The shape of the head, ears, eyes, and snout make me think it is a bear. I also see bright colors like blue, red, purple, and yellow. I see spatters of paint, especially around the edges of the canvas. Pause this video and discuss your answers to these questions with the people around you. Press play when you are ready to continue. Notice the large bear. It is a grizzly bear, which we can tell from the shape of the animal, especially its nose, and its habitat suggested by the metal tree sculptures rising on either side of the bear. Did you notice the words across the bottom? They say, quote, "Everything I love is here." We'll talk more about this phrase in a few moments, but it seems like the artist is sharing his love for something. This is also seen through the vibrant colors and loose brush strokes. Now we will move on to another section of this artwork. We will repeat the same close-looking routine. Look carefully and discuss your answers to the same questions. What do you see? What do you see that makes you say that? And what more can you find? Pause this video and discuss with the people around you. Press play when you are ready to continue. See the 2 fish? You might identify the fish as salmon from the shape of the bodies and jaws. The top fish is a humpy or pink salmon. The bottom fish is a dog or chum salmon. The background colors and lines make it look like the fish are swimming in water. Above the salmon, we see 2 birds, an eagle with its large yellow beak and white head, and a kingfisher with a long pointed beak and striped tail. This piece also has words across the bottom that say, quote, "The eyes are good medicine." This is what the artist's grandmother said when the artist asked her why she included salmon eyes in her soups. We will now look at the third section of this artwork. You know the routine by now. Look carefully and discuss your answers to the same questions. What do you see? What do you see that makes you say that? And what more can you find? Pause this video and discuss with the people around you. Press play when you are ready to continue. See the bird? Its wings are outstretched, and it is suspended from the ceiling, so we know it is flying. The bird is mainly black and white, but if we look carefully, we can see other colors like blue and green. This bird also has a long tail. These characteristics suggest this bird is a magpie. It is the only part of this artwork that is entirely three-dimensional. We are going to examine the fourth and final section of this artwork. Look carefully and discuss your answers to the same questions. What do you see? What do you see that makes you say that? What more can you find? Pause this video and discuss with the people around you. Press play when you are ready to continue. At the top of the section, a blue and yellow float plane looks like it is flying towards us. The propellers are blurred as if they are spinning. Words on the side of the plane say, quote, "Kodiak, Alaska, Harvey Flying Service." And words in the lower right corner of the piece say, quote, "There goes Steve Harvey." This refers to the Kodiak pilot Steve Harvey and the common sound of planes in Kodiak. The plane is flying above the ocean. Notice the wave-like shapes in the water and the seal, which lives in the ocean. The seal's head is sticking out above the water. Its bold black eyes, nose, and mouth stand out. It also has black spots. Words next to the seal say, quote, "Papa Eli said seals are one bump, otters are two." This is the response the artist's grandfather gave when he was asked how to tell a floating seal from an otter. Unlike seals, otters float on their backs, so both their heads and feet stick out above the water. Now that we've considered each of the four elements separately, let's look at the entire artwork. What do you notice when viewing all these elements together? Pause the video and discuss with the people around you. Press play when you are ready to continue. These elements are part of a single work of art. The bright colors and loose brush strokes are similar across the pieces. Each piece has a three-dimensional sculptural component. The work was made specifically for this space in the Anchorage Museum. It measures 14 feet tall at its tallest point. The artist who made this artwork is named Alvin Amison. He is Sugpiaq and grew up on Alaska's Kodiak Island, where he was surrounded by the ocean and Alaskan animals. These works are drawn from the stories told by his grandparents and his childhood memories. He lives and works in Anchorage today. The artwork is titled, "Everything I Love Is Here." Does knowing information about the artist and the title change or support what you think about this artwork? What do you think artist Alvin Amison is trying to say about to this place? Pause this video and write or sketch your answers to these questions. Discuss with the people around you. Press play when you are ready to continue. Alvin Amison's art reflects his connection to Kodiak and his memories from his childhood there. The animals in this art are all found in Kodiak, and Amison has specific memories tied to these animals, such as his grandmother's soups and his grandfather's teaching about how to tell a seal from a sea otter. Amazon believes, quote, the ultimate high occurs when you feel you're walking in your own landscape. Choose a landscape you love in Alaska. If you were to make your own artwork titled Everything I Love Is Here about that landscape, what would you include? I worked on my own Everything I Love Is Here artwork. I drew mountains with a forest, lake, and meadow. I love hiking, so a trail with footprints goes through the middle. I also like the different seasons we have in Alaska, so I chose to draw one side in winter and one side in summer. Pause the video and take a few minutes to sketch your own Everything I Love Is Here artwork. Press play when you are ready to continue. We would love to see your Everything I Love Is Here artwork creations. You can share them by tagging at Anchorage Museum, hashtag Anchorage Museum on social media, or email them to fieldtrips@anchoragemuseum.org. We invite you, your class, or your family to visit the Anchorage Museum. You can use these questions we repeated in this video. What do you see? What more can you find? And what makes you say that? To help you examine any work of art or other museum object. We hope to see you soon.
So that was just one of our pre-recorded videos that lives on our website. There are more that will be made in the future, but if you wanted to do that with your students at home, you're more than welcome to and pause it and ask them questions throughout. As you can see, Melissa really highlighted those 3 questions while looking at each piece of this artwork. Other questions that you could ask are, what colors do you notice? What do the colors remind you of? What mood do the colors paint for you? What details capture your attention right away? And what we do encourage is, as the facilitator, parent, or teacher, we do ask that you repeat what the student says and reiterate it back to them. So they're really thinking about what they're saying and their observations. And again, this is that VTS plus approach that we use in all of our pre-recorded or live in-person experiences and programming throughout the museum. We do believe it's important because it allows the students to really closely look at an object or an image and really examine the artist or maker, especially the materials, their process, the colors, or the uses of their objects, and any cultural or historic information that might be important as well. This will also help your student really develop strong critical thinking skills, observations, and communication skills. And you can do this with any object throughout our museum. And we have a 20 question deck that I can show you a little bit later on as well. That kind of really highlights our VTS style teaching and how we can use that for all of our resources. So with that, I'm going to show you guys some of our resources that live on our website. So I am going to stop screen sharing really quick, and I'll re-screen share so you guys can see that website that I'm talking about. So if I re-screen share. Everybody should be able to see the museum website, I'm hoping. Can someone give me a thumbs up if you can see the museum website? Perfect, awesome, thank you guys. So on our museum website, if you just were to click and go right to the museum website, you would get this page. And if you would like to visit the museum from home, you just scroll to visit, go to the museum from home. And on our website, we have different things in a way that you can virtually visit the museum from the comfort of your own home. So what you can do here is we can close look at some objects. So there's some more objects that we talk about that are a little bit shorter than that video that I just showed here, but they highlight different objects within our collection that you guys can see throughout. And they're pretty quick videos. As you can see, they range anywhere, I would say, from about 1.5 minutes to about 5 minutes. And there's also that 20 question deck that I'm going to click on. And this 20 question deck is really awesome because this can be used when asking any object. at the museum that you guys are looking at virtually or an object within your home. And it uses that open-ended inquiry-based approach that we highlighted and talked about a little bit. So what do you notice first? What shapes and forms do you see? And as you can see, the list goes on. And you can use this, like I said, for any object on our website virtually or any object within your house to really engage your students in critical thinking, observation skills, and communication. So if we go back, we can go back to that visit museum from homepage. We can also listen. So if we wanted to learn more, we can do the Denina Word of the Week, which we have on our website here. And you guys can see throughout, we publish different Denina words throughout and that you can practice with your students. And if you go back to that museum homepage, we can go watch. And when you watch, you can add on to that Alvin Amundsen video that we just watched. So here you can actually listen to the artist talk about his journey as an artist, his own experience, what inspires him, his creation, methods, processes, all throughout. And we have different artist videos as well that you can play for your students. And all of this stuff is free to you guys. You don't have to be a museum member to view any of this stuff from home. This is all accessible for anybody, anywhere, as long as you have internet access. And so there's more videos, as you can see. And back to that museum at home, if you go to the Learn tab, that will take you to our resources page. Another way to get to our education resources page is if you go to programs and if you scroll down for educators, and then if you scroll to the bottom, teaching resources, this is another way to get to our resources page. And this is awesome because the Anchorage Museum Education Department has created a range of online resources and publications to support at-home and virtual learning during this time. And all of this can be used in a classroom setting, home setting, as an extension to any virtual experience that you take on. And there's different ways in which you can kind of filter through our resources. So you can select your desired audience or grade, any kind of standards that you're trying to meet, and maybe any topic too. So for instance, if you guys are talking about, science, or if you want to learn more about that visual literacy / VTS plus that I've been talking about, you can click on that and that's going to highlight an object or some resources for you. So we can just show you. So if I click on visual literacy, some of these resources will pop up. And within each of these resources, it kind of highlights and it'll talk about visual literacy within it. So this is one of our lesson plans that talks about maps and place names. And you can see throughout here, if you forget everything I say about VTS or you weren't able to write it all down, it's all written here as well and kind of talks you through how to use this approach when teaching with your students at home. And you guys can see there's a resource here. It gives you the questions, the prompts, all the stuff within. And then there's also web resources and standards that it'll meet. So that's just one example of a resource hub. We have many types of resources on our website. So if you also wanted to scroll and watch that video with your student that we just watched, if you scroll all the way down to virtual field trips, which should be here, virtual field trips. If you click on this virtual field trip tab, it'll take you to that video that I just played for you guys. And then I'll also play an introduction video to what our museum is and our teaching philosophies. But you can use that video that I just showed you guys with your kids at home. And when it tells you to pause or stop the video, you can stop the video there and really engage with your student, give them a little more time to draw any of those prompts that were posed throughout the video. And then we also have really great science passports that you guys can see on our website. And this is really wonderful. So they'll help you meeting science standards. They'll encourage your students to look, like for instance, this one is windows. So you look outside, you'll study the landscape and different stuff, and you guys can see throughout. We have several of these science passports extensions that you'll notice. We also have a booklet, for instance, on northern waters, which we also offer this as a virtual field trip experience. And I'll talk a little bit more about that here in a moment. But this is a really great extension or an activity that you can do with your students. And you can see when you hit download. It's a booklet that you guys can print at home and fold into a booklet, and your students can work on it. And it has all these open-ended prompts, such as like draw or sketch, your own watercraft. It'll give you different terminologies. It'll ask you to name resources found in Alaska or what resources are utilized, and you'll see the prompt goes on. What's also really great about this is that there's a teacher resource packet along with this. So for you as teaching at home, it will kind of guide you through how to use this booklet and how to prompt your students throughout each activity and lesson within those booklets here. And we have many booklets that talk about, your sense of belonging, like that goes with the Art of the Northern Waters, cold, and I'll highlight those as well. So if we go back here, let's say that we just watched that Everything I Love Is Here is video, and we want to do more art-related activities. You can click on this belonging booklet. Same thing, you can hit the booklet here or the teaching resources. And when you go onto the booklet, this is a really great activity that you can do after watching that pre-recorded video with your students. And it just highlights and talks about more of those objects within our Art of the North gallery. And it looks at different works of art that you guys can see. And there's also a video back on that Museum from Homepage. So this one talks about Rockwell Quint. Then we have on our Museum from Homepage, there's a video that talks about Rockwell Kent and another work of art by him. There's another work of art by Alvin Amison, more a little bit into his practice, his inspiration, a little bio about him, and you can see it goes on from here. And again, these are all available. They're free on our website. You do not need a museum membership to access any of this stuff. Another thing that we have, if you scroll back to programs and if you go for educators, you can click this virtual field trips tab. And this is a little bit different than that pre-recorded video that lives on our website. So during the 2021 school year, we are offering live virtual field trips. We do ask that a minimum of 10 students join, and throughout this, a museum educator, there's about 3 of us per experience, we will ask questions live to your students while looking at objects within our museum. And you can see that we have different virtual offerings such as Art of the North, Climate Change, Northern Waters, Soundscapes, and Space and Place. In the Art of the North one, it's scaffolded by grade. So we have different packets based off the grade of your students. And we look at different works of art. We also do the same thing from Climate Change, and it's scaffolded down. For younger students, we talk about fisheries and the impact of climate change. For a little bit older students, we talk about permafrost and the impacts of climate change here in Alaska. And for high school students, we'll talk about sea ice and the impacts of climate change throughout Alaska. And these run about 45 minutes to an hour long. Like I said, they're live, so about 3 museum educators will be there per experience, and we ask your students questions throughout, observations, what do they know, and we share different resources, photos from our archives, we close look at objects, all within this live experience. And again, you guys are more than welcome to request a virtual field trip. We just ask that there's a minimum of 10 students, and to note, November is completely booked, but we do have availability in December and January, and all of our virtual field trips are free this fall. So if you would like to schedule one, you're more than welcome to request a virtual field trip, and I'll show you how to do that as well. So let's say that you guys have 10 students that are able to virtually meet at the same time via Zoom, and we're just gonna request that virtual field trip. And in here, we offer our virtual field trip experiences on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays from 10 a.m. to about 2 p.m. You're just gonna have one person that would be like the main person who would communicate the needs for the virtual field trip. So you would put down the parent or the educator's name, email, confirmation. You can write down your guys' organization name. You select the grades, and you can select multiple grades. So if you have like 3rd through 5th, that's perfectly fine. You can select that, and it'll tell you what packages are available based off those ages. And like I said, you can click that climate change experience that we talked about, type in the learning objectives, how you virtually meet with your students, any special accommodations. We do ask that there's no more than 30 students per virtual experience. because we want to ensure that throughout this experience, it's very meaningful and engaging. And like I said, we call on the students similar to that VTS style that you saw demonstrated by Melissa. And so because we ask the students to share their observation, thoughts, and ideas, we just want to kind of limit that size, but you can request multiple experiences. And again, just minimum of 10. Your desired date, you can just pick the date. That's, like I said, November is full, but we have availability in December. You can pick the time and any additional notes, and then you just have to click on the virtual field trips, you agree to it, and then you can submit that virtual field trip request. And again, we're offering this for the 2021 school year, and all virtual field trips this fall are free, and we have availability in December, so if that's something you're interested in. So if we go back to that museum from home page, I just want to re-highlight that is another way. If you hit learn, it can access all of these resources that we talked about, or you can go to programs, scroll down for educators, go all the way to teaching resources, and it'll take you back to all of those online resources that are available that anybody can download at their house and they can print and use. A lot of them, like I say, will highlight artwork within our collection. We have booklets, Blink activities, which are designed for young, like early learners, preschool students, which are really great. We have the science passports that I mentioned, collab activities like button making or how to make flowers, different types of binding method, pom-poms or starting your own seeds or plant hangers, and then booklets that we have, more art resources. Back to that word of the week that I mentioned to learn to nine a word of the week, a different plant deck, an earthquake. This is another booklet we have. So again, you just click on the booklet and then you can download that teaching resource packet or download the booklet itself. And it goes throughout. And if you're also, let's say you're using our resources all the time and you want to see what the newest ones that have been uploaded to our website, if you just hit date, it'll tell you the newest ones that we've made and uploaded to our website, if you want to check that out. And you can also sort them by name, grade, standards, and topics. So I do just want to take a moment and see if anybody has any questions, thoughts before we end this workshop at all, or how to use the museum website. If no one can think of a question now, that's totally fine. You're more than welcome. If you kind of forget about this and you want to ask me a question later, you can always shoot me an email through our website, which is just mgalke@anchoragemuseum.org, or you can email the fieldtrips@anchoragemuseum.org, or you can call, and either of those. And if you have any more questions about those virtual field trips, again, just go to For Educators, hit the virtual field trips tab, and then if you click visit our questions page, this here is most of the questions that people ask, and we answer them on our website that live there for you guys.
Hey, Missy, can you tell us about the kits? Because someone asked in the chat box if you guys have kits available.
Yeah. That's a perfect one. Yes, thank you for that reminder. So very exciting. We are offering some really exciting boxes that, so if you just type in community supported education boxes at the Anchorage Museum, you can join the Anchorage Museum supported education project. And what these are different boxes. So we have an adult box. So even you guys can enjoy these boxes as parents and teachers. We have youth box that are designed 4 through 8. And then we have that younger age box, which is 2 through 6. And there's these Blink boxes. We have 35 available of the youth boxes and 25 of the adult boxes and the Blink boxes. So within this box, in our December theme is Sky. And we're very fortunate to partner with the UAA Planetarium to kind of help really create a really awesome, meaningful, engaging box for you guys. So within these boxes, they'll have different materials that you guys can either have picked up or shipped to your house, and you can purchase this all online by hitting this purchase button here. And they will have materials within that box and activities and prompts, kind of similar to those lesson plans that I highlighted, that you guys can do in the comfort of your own home. And the theme for all of these boxes is sky, but each box will have something different, and it talks a little bit about what is inside each of those boxes here. Another really great thing, if you're super interested in these sky boxes, I want to highlight our astronomy club. So we do have an astronomy club, which we're very excited to announce about. And if you register for the astronomy club, you should let us know, because you will get a discount on these boxes, as well as if you're a museum member, you also get a 10% discount on these boxes. But the Anchorage Museum is working to build resources and make connections. So I'm just going to take you guys back really quickly to our resources page, because this will talk more about this astronomy club, which will go really nicely with this skybox. So if we scroll all the way down, back again, there is science related lesson plans. And if we click on this lesson plan, I believe it will, oh, no, not this one. We go back to the resources. We have an astronomy club available that goes really nicely with stargazing, that one. So we click on the stargazing activity, which is a really nice, so you can also use this, ties really nicely in with that sky community box that we're offering. And if you scroll down to the third page, it will talk about this astronomy club membership that we offer. So it's Sleuth. So Sleuth allows members to control telescopes around the world and capture images of celestial objects, learn about astronomy in an interactive ways by completing quests, sharing observations and imageries with a community of like-minded astronomy enthusiasts. So you can sign up by clicking some of these links here. It is for a student level, $50 for the year. For a little bit higher level, it's $100, and then for the highest level is $300 per year. And you buy the membership through this company, and as soon as you let us know when you buy that skybox, it does discount that skybox as well. And then we have resources available on our website that kind of just go along with that astronomy club membership, and it's a really fun and wonderful program, especially if you have students at home who love space and love looking at images of space and kind of connecting with people who have that shared interest. But to take you back really quickly too, so this, again, it's that Stargazing at Home resource on our website. So just this one, if you click on it, it'll have all the information about that astronomy club. And then if you just type in like CSC boxes here, it will bring you back onto these sky theme boxes. And we do ask that your order is placed by December 1st if you are interested in these boxes. And again, we have 25 of the youth and blink boxes, and 25 of the blink and adult boxes, and 35 available of the youth boxes. And again, you can pick this up at the museum during a designated pickup time, or we can ship it to your house, whichever you prefer. When you click purchase, you should be able to select a shipping method. Any other questions?
I don't see any more in the chat, but it's been so great to be able to connect with so many of you guys, and we hope that you'll share some of the things that you learned tonight with some of your colleagues. This is Hollis, who also works with Missy at the museum. And I put a lot of those direct links in the chat, so if you're needing to source those, you can grab them from there.
Oh, thank you, Hollis.
And I just want to say thank you, Missy, for giving us so much information. So many of the things you said I did not know even existed. So I'm super excited to use these with my own kids. So thanks for your time, Missy, and all your experience that you shared.
Yeah, of course. Thank you guys so much for having me. I'm really excited and thankful for those who are here today, and excited for to live on your guys' website so more people can view a lot of our online resources.